Capricorn, listen closely. There's a reason your heart has felt like it's been waiting, patiently, faithfully, sometimes painfully. And it's not because you're broken. It's because the person you're meant to marry hasn't fully arrived into themselves yet. But they're coming. They are wealthy, not just in money, but in soul. They are loving, but not in the ordinary, surface-level way. And most of all, they are destined for you, written in the stars, carved into your karmic path long before this lifetime began. You haven't been unlucky in love, Capricorn. You've been protected from distractions, from lesser connections, from shortcuts that would have wasted your power. And now, the universe is shifting. The signs are aligning. And the veil is lifting on one of the most sacred truths your soul has been waiting to hear. You are not going to die alone. You are not going to be the one who gives everything and receives nothing in return. You are going to marry, but not just anyone. You will marry the one you've always felt but never fully met. And this person is wealthy, grounded, wise, and already being pulled toward you. But here's the catch. Before this union can happen, something sacred must be remembered. A deeper truth about why you've waited and why this connection has taken time. Because what's coming is not just a romance, it's a spiritual contract. A reunion of two powerful forces that were meant to merge only when both were fully ready. So if your heart has been aching, if you've felt an invisible pull lately, if you've seen their name in dreams, or heard their voice in silence, stay with me, because in the next few moments, we're going to walk through the signs, the energies, the divine timing, and the truth that yes, you will marry this person. And when it happens, your entire life will shift. Part 1. The energy that's calling you. Capricorn, there's something very specific about your energy right now. It's different. It's deeper. And it's calling in something or someone that's long overdue. Have you noticed how your spirit's been quieter lately, but not in a broken way? More like the stillness that comes right before the dawn. Like your soul is preparing for something sacred. That's not random. It's what I call the magnetic silence, the energetic moment where the universe begins aligning someone toward you. And not just anyone. A wealthy soulmate who hears the frequency of your soul even before you speak a word. You see, Capricorns don't fall in love loudly. You don't chase. You don't beg. You don't announce your longing to the world. Instead, you carry it like a hidden song in your daily strength, your focus, your loyalty. And that's what makes this moment so powerful. Because this person who's coming, they're being drawn not just to what you show, but to what you hide. They feel your energy like a pulse in the dark. A steady rhythm that says, I'm here. I've always been here. But I only open for the rarest kind of love. And that is exactly the kind of love they're bringing. They're not arriving because of your looks, your job, your achievements. They're coming because your frequency, your spirit, is finally sending out a signal they can't ignore. This isn't puppy love. This is soul recall. A recognition that cuts through the noise of modern dating and pierces the heart. One of you is dreaming of the other. One of you is whispering a name you don't remember. One of you has been guided to strange places, strange thoughts, strange desires. And now the universe is orchestrating a moment that's been building for lifetimes. The energy that's calling you isn't chaotic. It's grounded. It's rich, not only in wealth, but in wisdom. It's romantic, but also rooted in something much older than this lifetime. So if you've been feeling off balance lately, tired in a way you can't explain, sensitive to things you used to shrug off, it's because your inner frequency is tuning. Tuning to match someone who is no longer far. The calling is mutual now. And the moment they feel your readiness, something irreversible will begin. This is why you've been waking up at strange hours. Why you've been more emotional than usual. Why your dreams have taken a new shape. Because someone is coming. And not just to flirt or test your patience. They're coming to build. Capricorn, you're not meant for shallow. You're not built for temporary. And the universe knows it. So what's arriving is what you were always meant to hold. Life lesson from part 1. Capricorn, this is the moment you remember. The love you attract is the reflection of the love you've given yourself in silence. The energy that's calling you isn't a coincidence, it's a response to your quiet work, your inner strength, your patience. In a world of noise and distraction, your steady, focused soul is what brings destiny to your door. Stay grounded. Stay open. Your energy is your signature, and the right person is already reading it. Part 2. The soulmate you've been waiting for. Capricorn, you've always known you weren't meant for ordinary love. There's something in your spirit that has quietly whispered, wait. Even when others rushed into relationships, even when your heart longed for someone to understand you, you chose the path of patience. Not because you didn't want love, but because you needed the kind that wouldn't collapse under pressure. And now, that kind of love is coming. But here's what most people don't understand about the soulmate you're about to meet. They're not arriving in perfection. They're arriving in readiness. This person is not some fantasy figure that will sweep you off your feet in a whirlwind of fireworks. No, this is real love. Grounded love. Grown love. The kind that starts in friendship, deepens in trust, and awakens when both souls are tired of pretending. They are wealthy, yes, in the material sense. They've built something stable, something solid, something they're proud to share. But more importantly, they're rich in soul. Rich in experience. Rich in regret. Rich in the kind of pain that taught them how to love fully, not foolishly. They've waited too. Maybe not as consciously as you have. But deep in their spirit, they've felt the emptiness of connections that didn't touch their core. And now, they're ready to meet someone who feels like home. Capricorn, that's you. Because you don't just love, you become a sanctuary for those you let in. You hold space. You protect. You listen between the silences. And this person, they're aching for that kind of safety. They've been successful, maybe even admired, but something's been missing: depth, presence, truth. This is why the two of you are drawing near. Not out of desperation, but from a quiet, divine knowing. A pull that says, we've done the inner work. Now let's meet in the middle. And when you meet, it won't be explosive at first, it'll be familiar. Like déjà vu. Like, oh, there you are. I've known you all along. They might speak your love language without being taught. They might show up exactly when you're ready to stop hoping. And they'll likely be someone who, on the surface, seems like a powerful force, but privately, they're just as hungry for real connection as you are. They will admire your strength, but they'll also be gentle with your vulnerabilities. They will match your ambition, but they won't compete with it. They won't distract you from your purpose, they'll remind you why you built so much in the first place. Because with them, you won't just have love, you'll have legacy. Life lesson from part 2. Capricorn, your soulmate isn't late, they're being carved by the same fire that shaped you. You weren't meant to settle for love that only sees the surface. The depth you've cultivated in silence is now calling in a partner who sees all of you: the power, the pain, and the potential. Don't rush. Don't chase. Don't doubt. The love you're receiving is the love you've earned by becoming who you are. Part 3. Signs from the universe. Capricorn, when the universe begins preparing you for a sacred union, it doesn't shout. It whispers. Softly. Symbolically. Again and again until you start paying attention. And right now, whether you've realized it or not, the universe has been sending you signs. Not in dramatic ways, but in small, repetitive pulses that seem almost too consistent to be random. Maybe it started with a name. A name you keep hearing. A name you haven't spoken in years. Or perhaps never at all. And yet, it keeps showing up. In songs. In dreams. In passing conversations. Maybe it's the numbers. You look at the clock and it says 11:11. Or 2:22. Or 5:55. You're not imagining things. These aren't coincidences, they're alignment codes. The universe's way of confirming that something is in motion on your behalf. You may notice your sleep has changed. You wake up at strange hours, between 2 and 4 a.m., the spiritual veil hours. You feel emotional for no clear reason, like your heart is opening without permission. These are not disruptions. They are preparations. And then, the dreams. Capricorn, if you've been dreaming of someone whose face is blurry, but presence is strong, that's not your imagination playing tricks. It's your soul remembering. Recognizing a frequency it once knew. The face will become clearer in time, but the pull is already there. Have you found yourself pulled to certain places lately? Maybe you've felt drawn to visit a certain coffee shop, a town, or even an online space that you normally wouldn't. That's the universe guiding your steps, aligning timelines so you can cross paths with this destined person. Or perhaps you're noticing a sudden interest in love songs, poetry, or even feeling sentimental about things you used to dismiss. That shift in your emotional palette isn't regression. It's a signal. Your heart is softening, preparing to receive what it's been denied for too long. And here's the most mysterious sign of all. Sometimes, before a soulmate arrives, the universe will send you a counterfeit. A test. A shadow of what's coming to see if you've really healed, or if you'll settle again. So if you've recently walked away from someone who didn't honor you, that wasn't failure. That was the final proof that you're ready for something real. Capricorn, you are not imagining these shifts. You are not being too sensitive. You are responding to a cosmic alignment that is real, active, and deeply intelligent. And when the time is right, all of these signs will click together like a key in a sacred lock. And standing before you will be the person you were always meant to marry. Life lesson from part 3. When the universe speaks, it speaks in patterns. But only those who've mastered silence, like you, Capricorn, will hear it clearly. The signs around you are not fantasy. They are proof that love is being orchestrated behind the veil. Stay awake. Stay soft. And most importantly, stay faithful to the truth only your soul can feel. Because when the soul recognizes its match, the entire universe shifts to make the meeting happen. Part 4. Why you had to wait this long. Capricorn, let's be honest. You've watched others fall in love recklessly, quickly, loudly. You've seen relationships form in an instant and collapse just as fast. Meanwhile, your heart stayed quiet. Not because it couldn't love, but because it refused to love halfway. So why did you have to wait so long? The answer isn't punishment. It's preparation. You were never meant to meet your person when you were still unfinished. The love that's coming to you now is not for the version of you who doubted your worth, who accepted breadcrumbs, who stayed small just to be accepted. No. The universe wanted to see if you could stand alone. Not in bitterness, but in strength. Not in ego, but in truth. You had to build a life on your own terms. You had to master solitude. You had to learn how to carry your own emotional weight without demanding that someone else hold it for you. That's what makes this union sacred. Because the person who's coming to you, they've had to do the same. They've also walked alone. They've also been betrayed, misunderstood, left behind. And when the two of you meet, it won't be from a place of need. It will be from a place of wholeness. That's the real love story here. Not two people finding each other because they couldn't survive alone, but two people who learned how to thrive alone and chose to walk together anyway. The wait, Capricorn, wasn't wasted time. It was soul-sculpting time. Time that refined your spirit, clarified your desires, burned away illusions. Maybe you had to see what love wasn't in order to recognize what love truly is. Maybe you had to lose people you thought were the one, because they were only preparing you for the one who actually stays. And maybe, just maybe, your patience wasn't silence. It was sacred strategy. Because a love like yours, it doesn't arrive in chaos. It arrives in divine timing. Life lesson from part 4. The wait was never empty, Capricorn. It was sacred. Every year you spent in solitude, every tear, every unanswered prayer was planting roots for a love that could actually last. Don't regret the waiting. It made you ready. And now that you're whole, you're finally attracting someone who doesn't want to complete you. They want to build with you. Part 5. Your inner readiness. Capricorn, if love is a journey, yours has been a mountain climb. You weren't given shortcuts. You weren't handed easy affection. Instead, life asked you to build yourself before anyone could build with you. And now, after all the heartbreaks, the silences, the years of asking when is it my turn, the answer is finally echoing back. Now. But here's the truth, it's not that love just magically showed up now. It's that you finally became the version of yourself who can receive it. For years, you poured yourself into goals. You chose loyalty even when it wasn't returned. You stayed strong when others collapsed. And most importantly, you stopped chasing people who didn't see your worth. That's when everything changed. Because the kind of soulmate you're about to marry, they don't need saving. They don't need convincing. They just need someone who knows how to stand on solid ground and say, "I've done the work. I've healed the wounds. I'm not perfect, but I'm present. Let's build something real." That's where you are now. You're no longer asking, "Will they love me?" You're asking, "Will this be a life that aligns with my peace?" You're no longer desperate to be seen. You've already seen yourself. You've already proven to yourself that you can carry weight, make decisions, heal scars, and still open your heart. That readiness, that self-awareness, it's magnetic. And it's calling in someone just as emotionally mature. This love won't feel like chasing. It'll feel like meeting. Equal souls, ready hands, shared values. No more guessing. No more begging. No more playing small. Just eye contact, quiet knowing, and a foundation that can actually last. Capricorn, you've always been the builder. But now you're ready to let someone build with you. Life lesson from part 5. The universe never withheld love from you. It was simply waiting for the day you loved yourself enough to stop settling for anything less than what you deserve. You're not just ready for love. You're ready for a partnership that honors your strength, mirrors your wisdom, and adds peace to the life you've already built. This isn't the beginning of your worth, it's the reward for finally seeing it. Part 6. Their hidden feelings for you. From Capricorn, you'll marry this person, a wealthy soulmate destined just for you. Capricorn, what if I told you they've already seen you? Not just in passing, not just in physical form, but on a soul level, in a way that left them stunned, unprepared, and quietly afraid. Because when someone sees a love that could change everything, the first reaction isn't always joy. Sometimes, it's fear. And that's what this person is carrying now. They feel you. Your presence walks with them. Your name sits behind their thoughts like a drumbeat they can't silence. Even if they're distant, distracted, or entangled elsewhere, the pull toward you is undeniable. But they haven't told you everything. Why? Because what they feel is more than they've ever admitted to anyone. They feel drawn to you with magnetic force, intimidated by how much you mirror back their potential, humbled by the way you make them question everything they once thought love was. This person didn't plan for you. In fact, your presence may have arrived exactly when they thought they had it all figured out. Maybe they were building a life that looked perfect on the outside. A relationship, a job, an image. And then suddenly, you entered their orbit. And everything shifted. They started dreaming differently, thinking differently, craving something deeper, something true. But here's what they won't admit yet. They're terrified. Terrified that you're too good. That they're not ready. That they might ruin something sacred before they even get to hold it. That's why you feel them pulling and retreating, leaning in, then backing away. Because their heart wants you, but their shadow says, "What if I'm not enough for someone like that?" They don't just want to flirt with you. They want to be safe with you. They want to be understood, undressed spiritually, emotionally, gently. And they don't know how to ask for that yet. Capricorn, you stir something ancient in them. You awaken a version of them they forgot existed. And that kind of emotional intimacy, it's rarer than most people can handle. But you can. That's why they're drawn to you in the first place. So when they act distant, it's not rejection. It's reverence. They're learning how to be worthy of the love they feel coming from you. Life lesson from part 6. Sometimes, the silence from someone's mouth is not proof of indifference. It's the sound of their soul trembling in awe. The right person may not always arrive prepared. But if they feel safe in your energy, they will return not to impress you, but to love you without armor. Capricorn, let them grow. And if it's meant, they'll meet you there fully. Part 7. The spiritual contract between you two. Capricorn, there are some bonds that cannot be explained. They don't make sense on paper. They don't follow logic. They don't arrive on time, but they arrive exactly when they must. This is one of those bonds. The truth is, you and this person have met before. Not in this body, not on this timeline, but in another lifetime, in another form where the love was just as real, but the ending might have been different. You may have been their protector, or their student, their lover, their mirror, their undoing. But whatever role you played, it left an imprint so deep that even across lifetimes, they feel you. That's why the connection feels larger than life. That's why, from the moment your energy touched theirs, even briefly, something ancient stirred. This is what spiritual contracts are. They're the soul's way of keeping a promise made before birth. If we don't complete it, then we'll find each other again. If I hurt you, I'll come back and love you better. If I left you, I'll return when I've grown enough to stay. You see, Capricorn, not every intense love is meant to last. Some are meant to awaken. Some are meant to return. And this one, it's meant to complete a cycle. That's why the pull is so strong even when the person isn't physically near. That's why, even without a clear plan, you feel like something is already in motion. Because it is. This connection isn't waiting for you to build it, it's waiting for you to remember it. It's why their eyes look familiar. Why their energy feels like home. Why your heart calms and aches at the same time when you think of them. Because your souls already recognize each other. They've already said yes. Now, the human part just needs to catch up. But that's the beauty of this kind of love. You don't have to force it. You don't have to chase it. You just have to stay open, aligned, and awake to the moment it returns. Because spiritual contracts don't expire. They evolve. And this one, it's coming back around, ready to be fulfilled, not repeated. Life lesson from part 7. When a love feels larger than logic, it's not a fantasy, it's a remembrance. Some connections are too sacred to explain because they were written before words were invented. Capricorn, if you feel the depth of this bond in your bones, trust it. You're not making it up. You're waking up to a contract your soul signed long ago, and now, it's time to keep the promise. Part 8. The challenges before union. Capricorn, every soul connection, no matter how destined, must walk through fire before it can rest in love. That's where you are now. The universe isn't denying you this love. It's refining it. Because what you're calling in is not simple romance, it's a sacred partnership. And to step into something sacred, both souls must leave behind the illusions that kept them small. So, what stands between you and this union? The first barrier is internal. Fear. Fear of being vulnerable again. Fear that the past will repeat itself. Fear that opening your heart will end in silence, confusion, or worse, abandonment. But here's the truth, Capricorn. You've outgrown the people who couldn't handle your depth. You're no longer available for surface-level connection. And yes, it's scary, but what's scarier? Living the rest of your life with a heart half shut, missing the one soul that was meant to meet you fully? Then, there's their fear. This person, the one destined for you, isn't untouched by wounds. They carry their own shadows. A failed marriage. A parent's betrayal. A belief that love always demands self-sacrifice. So they hesitate. Not because they don't want you, but because they're terrified they'll lose you if they don't come perfect. What neither of you sees yet is that it's the imperfection that will bring you closer. You're not meant to meet as flawless beings. You're meant to meet as truthful ones. Then comes the external challenges. There may be distance, literal or emotional, obligations to children, careers, past relationships. Timing, you're ready, they're not. Or vice versa. This is the storm before alignment. And it's not meant to break you. It's meant to strip away everything that isn't real. Because real love doesn't need the perfect schedule. It needs two people willing to fight for clarity, to grow through discomfort, to trust that what's real won't require force, just courage. Capricorn, you are one of the most resilient signs in the Zodiac. You've faced rejection, abandonment, silence, and yet, you keep your heart intact. This is the final test. Will you trust in divine timing, even when it looks uncertain? Will you hold your boundaries without closing your heart? Will you stay grounded even as the ground shifts beneath you? Because if you can do that, then nothing, no fear, no distance, no delay can stop what's meant for you. Life lesson from part 8. Love isn't delayed because you're unworthy, it's delayed because you're being prepared. The universe won't send you a soulmate you'll lose, it will wait until you've both become the kind of people who know how to stay. The challenge is not to chase love, but to become so anchored in your truth that love has no choice but to meet you there. Part 9. When and how it will happen. Capricorn, the question you've quietly carried for years is this. When will I meet them again? Not just meet, but meet in the way that matters. Meet with readiness. With awareness. With open hearts and open timing. And here's the whispered truth. You won't see it coming, but your soul will recognize it the moment it arrives. This meeting won't be like the others. It won't come through chasing, wishing, or strategizing. It will come in a moment of surrender when you're living, not looking. When you're focused on your path, anchored in your peace, and least expecting a shift. And then, it happens. A glance across a room. A message out of nowhere. A business trip, a mutual friend, a random schedule change that puts you in the right place at the right second. Capricorn, you've lived your life through order, responsibility, structure. But this moment, this sacred meeting, it's built through divine interruption. And here's the mystical part. Your timelines are already orbiting. Their name is already circling through your subconscious. Your energy is already being pulled into alignment. So, when? Many of you will feel it begin within the next 1 to 2 cycles. That could be 1 to 2 moon cycles, seasons, or for some, a full year from now. Not because you're behind, but because the meeting isn't random. It's scheduled. Down to the breath. And the how will be even more surprising. Some of you will meet them. At the moment you're letting go of someone else. During a move, a relocation, or a career shift. After a personal loss, where grief has cleared the space for real love to enter. For others, they return from your past. Not the version that hurt you, but the one who transformed. The one who now sees what they couldn't before. And when you meet again, or for the first time in this lifetime, it won't feel like starting something new. It will feel like continuing a conversation that was simply paused. There will be signs. An inner calm that makes no logical sense. Time feeling like it's bending around you. Eye contact that feels like a memory, not a discovery. And in that moment, Capricorn, you'll know. This is it. This is the chapter one was being prepared for. Life lesson from part 9. The meeting of soulmates is not arranged by chance, it's orchestrated by soul timing. Your only job is to stay aligned with your truth, so that when love arrives, it finds you ready, not restless. Capricorn, let go of the calendar. Focus on becoming the version of you who doesn't question whether you're worthy, because when the time is right, love will show up asking if it's worthy of you. Part 10. Your future together. Capricorn, imagine this. You wake up in a space that finally feels like home. Not because of the walls, or the view, or the address, but because of the presence next to you. This person. The one who once felt so far away, so untouchable. They're now brushing your shoulder in the morning light. Pouring coffee into your favorite cup. Asking what's on your mind and really meaning it. This is your future. And it's not a fantasy. It's a reality the universe has been shaping around your growth. Together, you and this person build something that lasts. Not because it's easy, but because it's honest. They won't always say the perfect thing. You won't always have the answers. But the difference is, this time, neither of you runs. You talk. You work. You rest. You return. There's no more guessing. No more walking on eggshells. Just two people committed to choosing each other again and again. There's structure because Capricorn needs stability. But there's also freedom because this love is not about control. It's about mutual elevation. You support each other's dreams. You move forward as partners, not passengers. You take turns leading and turns surrendering. For many of you, this person will become a spouse, a co-builder, a safe space, a spiritual mirror. You may move together, even relocate to a new city or state. You may merge not just homes, but visions. You'll talk about finances, not out of fear, but as a team. You'll plan not just vacations, but legacies. And there will be laughter. Oh Capricorn, laughter you haven't known in years. The kind that bursts from your chest at 2 a.m. over something small but sacred. Because when you finally feel safe, you finally allow yourself to be soft. This relationship won't just bring romance. It will restore your trust in love, your faith in timing, and your joy in sharing life with someone who sees all of you and stays. You'll look back at the years of waiting and realize, none of it was wasted. It was all leading here. Life lesson from part 10. Real love doesn't rescue you from your life, it builds a new one with you. Capricorn, you're not meant to carry everything alone anymore. Your future isn't just about success, it's about shared sanctuary. When you finally meet the person meant to walk beside you, the climb doesn't stop, but it becomes lighter, warmer, and deeply worth it. Conclusion, the sacred union and final call forward. Capricorn, take a deep breath. You've just traveled through the quiet prophecy your soul has always known, but maybe never had the words to speak. This love, it's not fiction. It's not a trick of hope. It is a contract of the stars, signed long before this life began. And now, finally, you're standing at the edge of its return. You didn't arrive here by accident. You've waited. You've healed. You've chosen yourself, even when it was lonely to do so. And the person destined to marry you, they've been walking their own sacred fire, learning how to become the kind of soul who doesn't just find you, but who knows how to stand beside you. No more chasing. No more proving. No more begging fate to remember you. Fate has never forgotten you, Capricorn. It has only been waiting for you to remember who you are. You are the architect of love with legacy. You don't just crave connection, you build empires with it. You don't just fall in love, you rise through it. So when this person appears, and they will, meet them from your highest self. Not the version that needs validation, but the one who says, I know my worth. I've carried storms in silence. I've waited for truth. And now that you are here, let's build something no wind can shake. Because this isn't the beginning of your story. It's the return to a chapter you were always meant to finish. And when you look into their eyes, you won't just see a lover. You'll see recognition. A mirror. A memory. A home. Final life lesson. The soulmate you marry is not the one who arrives in perfection, but the one who shows up in truth. Ready to build the sacred with you. Brick by brick, breath by breath, lifetime by lifetime. Final call to action. Zodiac secrets revealed. Capricorn, if this message touched something in your soul, if you felt seen, understood, and remembered, don't let this journey stop here. Subscribe to Zodiac Secrets Revealed, because this is only one thread of your cosmic story. We reveal what others are too afraid to say. We go where the soul wants to heal. And we speak the truth only destiny understands. Your love is coming. Your person is close. And the universe is watching you rise. Keep your heart open. Keep your energy clean. And remember, you don't chase fate. You align with it.